What's up, everybody? I kind of just want to talk about these current cars that are coming out. There's going to be a lot of griefs and a lot of headaches of people's reaction on most of these cars that are coming out for 22 and 23. We always have some type of issue of the looks, performance, and etc. But I'm gonna get a little started with the cars I personally enjoy seeing in a way, and hope they can update it in the future. Usually in 2 years, they usually change out some features like body, exterior design, wheels. Just give a little more tweaks, so trying to give more sales reps on it. So let me talk about the 22 Honda Civic. Sedan, hatchback, and SI that just been announced. All I can say is, yes, the car does look a lot of familiar with other manufactured cars like Volkswagen to mostly Audi European look, and that's what they're really getting by, is a European look of a Honda. The only issue is you should not really change a car just because of to give a European look. Although if you call this a German Honda, it's basically what it feels like in a way, just by the features of it, of the exterior, the interior. On parts of the pieces like the dash has a very simulation of a Audi or a Volkswagen Jetta or Passat, you name it. So that's basically all I would say is the design of the exterior, from the body lines to the headlights, the taillights. It does have a lot of German aspect to it. It's not like it's just a European aspect, more German aspect. So just gives you a future. And I would like to talk to Honda why they choose different type of culture, countries, styles. Like me personally, I can just say with this new Honda Civic, after looking at the features of the body, the insides, especially the SI, and compared to the EX Sport deal, they roughly are the same car, but with modifications. I guarantee with the SI versus the EX and SI will have a lot of differences with forged parts like the forged rods, forged pistons, different cams, different turbo, you name it. Then you go to the base version, like the Sport and the EX. It's basically a cast design, internal pieces, just for cheaper costs, and it's for just economical base to get the car sold and the best fuel efficient you can get. And a lot of people they're not a car type of people, very car oriented, of trying to make the car look good. They just want to drive it to A and B, and that's it. But that's what we all want to do. But also we like to have some good looking features to it. With the SI and versus the Sport and EX version, to me, the style of it's really the same. It's kind of disappointed. So, and a lot of people has said that. I'm like, nothing has changed. The body lines are still the same. The bumper's still the same as the base model. It kind of did cheap it out in a way. I'm like, wow. If you look at the old generations though too, let's for instance, for when the SIs came out in the 80s, compared to the base model, they didn't really change much either. Just because it's simplified and it's reliable and cheap, and it gets the product out the door so the consumer can have it. I can understand that 100%, especially if you look at the 22 models now compared to the EG sedans. basic EJs, if you understand Honda chassis numbers and all, and lettering. EGs, EJs, EMs, you name it. The 1992, the 95, whereas the most popular until the 96 to 2000 came out. That generation, I think 92 to 95, it does share a lot of features of the 22 version, just because the headlight design, the front bumper layout, except for the grill wheel piece, they try to mash it to make it look like a EG basically, but you have to have more coolant efficiency to the engine so it breathes better. So I can understand it, because although it's also turbo, so it needs a lot more air to flow to cool the engine down better. So I can understand that they give it more like an EG sedan look to it. So and that's basically, I always say, is it's very close to similarities with, even if you look all the way towards the back, the bumper and taillights, it does have almost a EG but slash like Jetta version look to it. Like, well, they could have done a little bit here and there, but it's still be a Honda, because it's basically Honda reliability compared to a German Audi or Volkswagen. So don't give I had some negative comments. I'm like, man, I wish they changed it. Like, I'm very familiar with newer gens now, because I have a 2020 Honda Civic hatchback sport with a manual. I'm like, I love the chassis design, because it gets that raw, sharp feelness. Feels like you're actually a Japanese samurai, basically, or a ninja, basically, with a sword. It has that very sharp lines. I'm like, man, that's tight. That's like the best version yet so far, just because of the look. But yeah, with the comparisons to like the EX and SI, there's a lot of differences on mostly performance, and there always will be, because reliability, economical car to I won't say a sport, more like it is basically a sport, but it's a sport plus, because it shares a lot more for street track oriented racing and feel, to give you more like a small little Type R nudge. So yeah, so that's what I say about the Honda 2022 and hatchback. Although the new hatchback, I have really mixed feelings on, because it's not a true hatchback. It's more aeroback. What I mean about aeroback, it has a slight a curved line, goes down to the front tail. Compared to a hatchback, it goes straight and falls slightly to give it proper aerodynamics. But this has, and it slopes down like it's a sedan, more like an aero sedan. If you look at the Cross Tour, that's mostly an aero hatch. So that's why I say it's not a proper hatchback in a way. Just because it doesn't share, it doesn't really share like the proper hatch design. For me, I have two hatchbacks. I got the Sport hatchback and the 2008 Honda Fit Sport. So I got two sports. One of them is going to be my full track car soon. Hopefully I can get more of my parts coming in. Yeah, I'm still waiting on that stuff, so hopefully I can get it in, and so I can, over the winter, and start working on it more. There's going to be a lot of R&D work on this car, and it's going to be it's a hot car when it comes out of the track with some of the guys I have met. So yeah, hope you can give me some love and follows with this video, and plus subscribe to my channel, because I'm going to do a lot more videos, do some reviews on this type of deal with cars related and all this stuff. So yeah, just give me a follow and subscribe. It helps me a lot. And yeah, I'm going to do more videos with my Honda Fit really coming soon, so please look out, and thank you. Yeah, also forgot to say, just like the features of the 22 Civics, the colors, the color options I see. If you have not seen the SI sedan color, it has like a tangerine flavor to it. I'm like, I do love that color. It's like a perfect color for it. Just makes it stand out, make it very exclusive car color for any option, especially the boosted blue color. Boosted blue is a very good color to be more kind of like a race oriented color, sporty, compared to like a very base like a silver or white or a black. But those are white and black and silver is really like a baseline colors for mostly all companies. It's a very the most hot, most sold color in the market. Just like for instance, if you don't like the orange, I can understand. So for me, I personally love blue, and with this new orange coming out with the Honda Civic Si, I do love, but I will never afford one because I already have that car and I do not want to really get rid of it just yet. If I do, it's not going to be another Si or so. It's like I'm just going to keep on my budget deal because people have to save money somehow. So yeah, like the features with the exterior of the color options on the orange, I do love. It's really it's eye popping. I just hope a lot of people see that as a really good option. So, and especially the interior on the car, like the coloring interior tire, it's very basic of colors. It's normal going to be black with a probably like a slight grayish tint to it, but it's going to be mostly black for mostly all cars except for EX version, EX Sports or LX version cars, just because they need the low budget of the car to make it very simple, more eco-friendly look to it, or very cheap looking to me. But anyway, the car, it does have good features, but I just wish they can. To me personally, on the Honda Si seats they came out, they could have changed the color to it. Or changed the design. Like the color is just way too strong. Personally, I do not like red or a reddish tint to it. To me, it just doesn't seem very sporty with that type of color layout. It's like I think it just kind of cheaped out, and it's like, here you go. But I really think they should took more time of features of the interior seats design itself. And look at like the Honda Del Sol back in the day. It is mostly all black with a pinstripe in the middle. You get different options of pinstripe in the middle because of the color of the car. See, if the car is blue, it had a blue pinstripe in the middle seat. I thought it was kind of cool feature in a way. If it was a green car, it had a green pinstripe in the middle. If it was a black car, it was a gray pinstripe. If it was a red car, then it's a red pinstripe. Maybe it had some type of features like that to give you some eye-popping colors to it. So, yeah, I just hope like a lot of manufacturers actually look into people's aspect of their own generations, how much they sold these cars with, not like sold their cars, but how much history they have for the cars they had, invested with some ideas with the people we have today, not just we'll sell what we can and do a little features here and there. It's not to me. It's not a real eye opening. Like it kind of brings me at occasion like they just want the car sold. They don't really care what you want. So, yeah, I guarantee there's going to be a lot of gripes and pains with the new cars coming out. Personally, it's always going to be like that for the next years and years come by because of the manufacturers want to do their own practice with their own features here and there, especially like Kia and Honda. Basically, Kia, the designer at the time when Kia was actually getting really good, it took a designer from I believe he was from Audi or Volkswagen company, and he designed a a tiger design, or the cat design or tiger design features of the car, not just a hamster, but like a tiger design features to get more edgier look to it. So give it some idea with that, with manufacturers. Like they do take animals features to bring the aspect look to the cars itself. Maybe they should do that too now. I'm not trying to harp or anything like that. It's just common practice of what people really want, and it's not just we want, it's what it's kind of required to make it look a car to be sold of the look. That's hot. I want it. Or if it doesn't look good, I'm like, yeah, there's a lot of aches and pains. Like a person have ADD or whatever. It's like they're very antsy about different pieces of a feature of the car. I'm like, no, I don't want that. No, it's a 1.5. No, the seats have a weird look to it. We'll always will have that until the 2 years come by, especially Honda. After 2 years, they always change pieces to give a more edgier look to it, just to get the car sold, to see if they actually made a good option or they made a bad option. And especially with the Acura. Acura is about to come out, the Acura Integra, and all I can say is, with a sedan, no. I guarantee this car is not going to be a 1.5 turbo. It probably will be, but the only problem is, if you look at the 90s version of Civic and Integra, the Integra has always been bigger, a bigger engine. So it's very possible with this Integra, it might be two options. It might actually have a new engine that they're coming out with, we're not seeing or hearing. Say, like for instance, we had the 1.5 turbo for the Civic. Maybe they're doing a 1.8 or 2.0 baseline engine and using a 1.8 turbo engine to give it some type of features. I just hope they actually manufacturers, especially the SI. I'd say for the SI is very, if they do want to get a manual auto version of the SI, do not put a CV transmission in it. You're going to lose a lot of people's interest on that car in an instant. There's going to be a lot of issues mechanically, especially people want to track it or trying to sell it itself as a market. So I would do is basically a auto with the 8-speed auto, if you can. Yeah, 8-speed auto is probably like the baseline for it. It will sell probably a lot hotter in the performance aspect compared to a CV transmission. I think it will be a better performing car because you will be able to shift on demand without having delay timing on the CV transmissions with the the disc that actually plays to shift the gearing to a different ratio. So yeah, just not the engine, but the features of the car itself. Bring the two-door back. It doesn't have to be a Type R. It could be a GSR design. Honestly, if you bring the GSR, I think people will buy it for sure. The Type R, I guarantee if they do it, it's not going to be later till like 2-3 years because the Civic Type R is still in works. So that's all I really have to say about that. And I guarantee there is a two-door just by the video feature on that, and I already know for sure that there will be Integra two-door. That's not by manufacturer's comments towards anybody. It's just, you just have to look very close to what Honda's doing, from camouflage cars and stuff like that. And people say, oh, camouflage cars, those are fake. Like, if it's a two-door, it's not fake. You can't just change the chassis setup to make it a four-door. And plus, if they got rid of the Civic Coupe, are they going to do the SI? Are they going to do the two-door Integra? I guarantee yes. So just a smile. They're like, I guarantee you'll see a Integra two-door coming soon. It might be permitted later this year or early next year. So I don't know nothing about from manufacturer decisions on their things that come out to their companies. I just go by what we see from consumers that we see online. And as like a previous person who went to school for design engineering, you can't just make a two-door car and turn it into a four-door car without some chassis modifications. It's a basically whole new chassis design by shortening it a lot. And you have to change the suspension geometry and everything, from spring rates and etc. So yeah, so there's guaranteed going to be Integra Coupe coming soon. Mark my words on that. Well, thank you, and I hope you guys can subscribe for me, because with my Honda Fits, I'm going to be working on it soon, so please subscribe. And thank you. Have fun.